the Black-Hearted Oracle. Now before we get started, I'd like to pay homage to Mother Sustainer, Father Creator, and of course my beautiful ancestors. Now this is a guidepost reading for August, and it covers the cycle of the moon between the full moon and the new moon. First I'm going to read from the Alanis Bonsdale inside degrees, Aquarius 11 degrees. Crows eating the corn that the farmer has sown. Giving yourself free rein to negate, to destroy, and to deny. You go with the darkness and wait to see its cycle extends. While waiting, you can indulge the lower side of your nature to the utmost. The fun lies in getting away with it. Those most skillful and arduous will keep malicious and subconscious levels and will identify consciously with being the victim of such impulses. A complex and confounding internal policy ensues. You must get away with murder while proclaiming to be naive. Ingenious ignorance of anything wrong. However, the rational mind becomes so entangled in the webwork of spy versus spy that sooner or later every inch of territory is eaten away by plots of counterplots, and nobody is left who can tell who did what to whom. For once you start letting the Korean birds in, very little virtue territory shall remain. Secondly, it's 11 degrees Leo, a boy removing a thorn from his foot. A fatal flaw, knowing with excruciating clarity that you are bearing a character flaw that goes against everything you seek and hunger for. The flaw is that you do not stand firm and back yourself up in your own truth. Instead, you pretend that you are more superficial or easygoing prototype, but you do not get away with it internally. A dark dispute develops inside, subtly poisoning the atmosphere, and somehow, slowly and gradually, despite yourself, you are being hurtled toward an abyss that you cannot avoid. To cross over the abyss, to uproot physically, energetically, and emotionally your claim against yourself, your self-negation. And when this happens, a sober clarity of self-affirmative strength comes right in and proves to be a gift for all the world, worth every ounce of arduous effort to attain. The cards that we have here, these are the clarifications for the ones at the top. So we have Isis, the gibbous, waxing, earth, moon, buds, and ambition, full moon, air, flower, solutions, fifth chakra, Archangel Gabriel, and the walking away, lotus flower, dance, celebration, rainbow blessings, rest and rejuvenation, adjacent possibilities, and reverse. The links, clairvoyance, number 18, dragonfly 27, antelope, man holding a coin, the temple path, be bold and make the first move, cardinal moon, nothing is yet set in stone, mutable moon, your hard work is paying off, new moon in Capricorn, woman holding a heart, and patience. So let's read Isis. The goddess Isis could handle both the traditional male and female roles equally well. She was proud and protective of all that she held dear and would go to the ends of the earth for their well-being. She is an example of faithfulness and power, modesty and sensitivity. If this goddess card is chosen, quite unobstructive honesty and determination will be necessary in order to bring about the desired results. Isis is a red goddess and represents the dignity and authority of a ruler. She urges you to take responsibility and to lead the way to solution of the matter in question. The nature of fire in Leo takes command and dispenses justice with fairness. If Isis goddess card is selected, then August will be a significant month with regard to the question. And it says honesty and integrity get the rewards they deserve. And the gibbous moon ambition, the project underway becomes a viable proposition, and it is essential to carry out the development work on it to bring it into completion. The project is now subject to the all-pervasive drive to success. Flower moon solutions, it says this phase of the moon denotes the success, completion, or the hope for outcome of an idea you have been working on. Moon in Aquarius, you are likely to experience a surprise during this time. An unexpected change of circumstances will occur, turning opinion in your favor. But we have the Isis card here with the gibbous moon, the ambition card, and the flower moon, the solutions. So it's going to tell you that you have to make sure that you're standing in your emperor or empress stance. All of the cards at the bottom of the deck was focus. So your focus right now is going to be very important. You're going to have to really answer to yourself, what are you focused on? Because the Isis card is telling you your honesty and integrity is at the utmost importance right now. In order to further this ambition that you're wanting wanting to bring forth. But if you look here, this is the fifth chakra, so that's your throat chakra. So it's telling you your honesty of words and deeds, as a matter of fact, will do you well at this time. But we have solutions. So this walking away card talks about you entering a new cycle and not allowing you to stay stuck in something that is no longer serving you. Why is the fifth chakra here? It's the king of earth. It says a time to buckle down and get things done. Honor your commitments and a guardian angel. But that's exactly what these cards are talking about, your focus. Why is the walking away card here? Why is the walking away card here? Ten of fire, but this is in sideways. So it's telling us that whatever is overburdening us, whatever is causing us to feel as though we cannot go on, that's sucking the life force out of us, is draining our energy, whether it be person, thought, environment. It's telling you that it's time to walk away from those things. And even if it's not an actual physical walking away, it is the drawing away of our emotions, of our energy from that thing, so it cannot do that. And we can spend our proper time focusing on bringing these ambitions into fruition. Because over here we have the lotus flower, the unfoldment card. The lotus flower is one of my favorite flowers because of the story behind it. All of the drudgery at the bottom of the lake is what allows the lotus to be so aromatic and so strikingly beautiful. And it does sink down to the bottom of the lake every night. So it goes right back down to that thing that everyone would think is disgustingly dirty, but arises in the morning to greet the sun, spotless and beautiful. Because out of that darkness is what is the energy that has pumped into the lotus to make it so wonderful. And the celebration dance card is speaking, saying, for instance, say you like champagne, but you can only buy beer. It's telling you no matter, dance. Celebrate your life. Don't only pursue things as a means to be happy. Like, life is not supposed to be just about the attaining of financial matters, even though it is utmost important to a lot of us. But it's just telling you that that can't be the only reason for you to have happiness and to have joy and to have fulfillment. Because also this is coming out of the storm and blessings, the rainbow blessings. But this is you not realizing that you're coming out of the storm. This is you not realizing that there's blessings to be had, because your mind is closed off. You're only thinking about things one way. You're sticking to a preconceived notion, or you're sticking with a negative thought pattern. But this is telling us, in the time of trouble, in the time of turmoil, it's time for us to rest and rejuvenate our energies, our mind, our body, and our spirit, so that we can truly walk the walk that we're talking. Why is the rest and rejuvenation card here? Why is the rest and rejuvenation card? There's going to be a life experience. So this is a tower moment. It is in reverse. So what this is saying to me is that it wouldn't be so dramatic. We should really look at it differently, because maybe this life experience that's going to happen, that's going to force you to take your rest, is meant to be for your benefit. So you should look at things from a different perspective. Why is the tower in reverse for the rest and rejuvenation card? Why is the tower? Thank you. So avoid this tower moment by taking your rest. You know, taking your leave of things that no longer serve you. Find the joys in your life. As small as they may be, find them. Look for them. Search for them. And if you can't think of any, then think about how your life could be once you get exactly what you wanted out of it. Because Isis is here, but it's telling you that you're gonna have to, don't betray yourself. The inside degrees is also telling us that there's something within us that is a character flaw, and that we're not really paying attention to it. We're striving for everything else, but if we can deal with that character flaw, whether it's a mode of thinking, whether it's an insecurity, or a habit that inhibits us. What is the adjacent possibilities in reverse? Why is it in reverse? Why is adjacent possibilities in reverse? Renewal. Exactly. You don't see that whatever has happened in your life that you think is like the woe is me, the storm is, why is my life turning out like this? You don't understand that there's a second chance here. But you have to be truthful. You have to be careful of how you're accessing these facts that are going on in your life. Is what really is happening to you so terrible? Is it something that you cannot overcome? Is it something that is going to destroy your life completely? I mean, we all go through tumultuous times in our life. It's telling us to take the time to rest and rejuvenate, and to celebrate the little things in our lives. Celebrate what we consider to be flaws. If you can't see it, then you can't heal it. You have links here, strength through silence, again with the Hermit card, keeper of the lost, magic and occult secrets, higher self-guidance, air and water, so this is dealing with your thoughts and your emotions. And it's the dragonfly, and it's the power of light, the number 2, enlightenment, change through emotional and passionate, illusion, emergence, and mental clarity and control. But this is telling us that we have to transform, because the other day I was taking a walk and I saw about like 25 dragonflies. It just struck me with so much significance, and when I was shuffling the card, dragonflies came out twice, as you're going to see with the other portion of the reading. So this is dealing with the full moon cycle. And then you have overcome your obstacles, the antelope, higher purpose, taking action is key to life, understanding life and death, instincts, adaptability of mind, knowledge, action and survival, action and speed. So that's exactly what I'm telling you. Is like we have to emerge from the former self. We have to come out of the things that are no longer serving us, because this is the antelope. You can overcome your obstacles, but you have to be careful of how you're thinking, and you cannot wallow in a place of despair. Action is needed. Just like here, action is needed. Truthful communication is needed. You're going to need to walk away from whatever is burdening you, whether it's a thought, whether it's a self-criticism, whether it's someone else who's doing these things to you and putting you into a negative position so you can't really pursue your goals, because every time they come around you, you're feeling drained, you're feeling like your world is coming apart because they just have such a negative aura and a negative vibe. Wise man holding the coin here with dragonfly. Right? So we have to get out of this illusion that things are always bad. Things are not always bad. It may not be exactly the way we want it at times, but things aren't always bad. This is where we can emerge to, but we have to do the work. Why is the man holding the coin here? 7 of air. And we have to make sure we're not doing things that are deceptive to ourselves and deceptive to our path. Why is the 7 of air here for the man holding the coin? Why is the 7 of air here for the man holding the coin? That's exactly what I'm saying, is we have to be truthful to ourselves, because 7 of air and then 6 of air. What's missing is the 1 sword, and that 1 sword represents our truth. Blunt communication, truthful communication. But that's going to send you to a place of calmer waters, things looking up, the end of a difficult situation, moving on, walking away from those things, from people who are deceptive, walking away from people who have hidden agendas just because of finances. Why is the temple path here? Why is the temple path here? Why is the temple path here? Yeah, exactly. You're going to have to find the balance of the physical and the emotional in order to overcome the changes and overcome the obstacles that are happening in our lives right now. Because we have the strength through silence. We can keep our secret guidance to ourselves and the things that we're meant to do. Because this is the 4 of earth. We're holding on so tightly to whatever we think that we have that we're being too cautious. You can make good business decisions. You just have to make sure that when you're walking this temple path is that you're moving towards the things that you truly want, and you're not holding on to things that you don't. Because there's a higher purpose for whatever we're going through right now. And this is the 8 of water. It's time to walk away from these things that aren't serving us. Again, why is be bold and make the first move here? 3 of air. Don't sit in this place of heartache. And I'm not just speaking of heartache from a lover betraying you, but if that is the case, then I'm sorry. But no, I'm not just speaking of that. I'm speaking of a melancholy sadness. If you sit in it and don't find ways to bring joy to yourself, don't see the blessings that are coming or the blessings that you have already. Yes, things have been hard. Yes, things have been rocky. Yes, things have been unclear. But you have to make the first move. You cannot sit in these energies. Why is a woman holding the heart here? Why is the woman holding the heart here? 10 of water. Because life is about the ebbs and flows that we go through in life. And it's not always peachy clean. It's not always smooth sailing. Sometimes it gets rough. Sometimes it gets a little rocky. It does. But what is our heart telling us? Where do we find this comfort? Where do we find contentment? Where do we get rewarding family life? Emotional and material needs met. Just like balancing the emotional and material needs are met through the balance of the spirit and walking your true path. Why is the patience card here? Why is the patience card here? High Priestess. Your hard work is paying off. New Moon in Capricorn. Patience card with the High Priestess. Trusting your inner wisdom, because not everything is known to us. We can't see every aspect and detail of our life, and we don't know exactly how these energies are going to play out for the betterment of us, but we do have to trust our higher wisdom and be patient to the ways that things are going to play out in our life. Now let's go get the other set of cards. All right, so we have the same Isis card. These are the general energy. Opposition with sixth chakra. We have Scepter with movement. We have Dragonfly with the Garden and the Gate in reverse. We have hostilities and the autumn equinox release. Frog and Spider here with the Thinking Man in action in reverse. Adjustments are required. Third quarter moon trapped. New romantic cycle begins. New moon in Libra. Door to romance. So we're going to read what opposition says. First, inside degrees. Leo. A fire burns at the bottom of an old well. Deeply foundational, held away, asocial, and centered upon individual treasures and ancient vintage. You are hostile to close approach. You need leverage and control and are driven towards extreme autonomy. Remembering the way it always has been. Deep in there, warmly radiant, you focus upon keeping alive what has gone out upon the surface. A karma of caretaking the mystery. But your personal expression veers towards crusty, hard-edged, protective, and guarding behaviors. You can become obsessive and almost paranoid. Your rigid commitments is holding steady and outlasting the unsympathetic cycles and contexts with a note of fierce conviction that this is all that counts. Nothing must moderate or minimize, relativize what has been agreed to and made an iron law. So we'll read opposition, fire moon, fall. Everything is held in balance. There is a tendency to have to force issues to make things happen, as events generally do not fall easily into place during this phase. Moon in Leo, you have to work hard to maintain your position of respect and reputation during this time. You are unable to rely on your past success to persuade others of your worth. And then Scepter. Desire for position and prominence. It says both keen ambition and desire to attain position of responsibility in life, both usually concerned with material gain and achievement. Also, an element of perfectionism. You have a desire to rise above your station in life. You crave recognition and respect in a traditional sense and wish to be viewed as a pillar of society. This card reminds you that to achieve such a position, you generally have to employ a significant amount of good planning and forethought. So we're going to get right into it because, as I said, we have a very strong message here of this opposition card is speaking of us not trusting our intuition. We're not trusting the higher mind to guide us. And the Scepter card is movement. We so want movement into the areas that the card is speaking about. We so want to move forward and shackle through to get this position that we're looking for, to be heard, to be seen as worthy, to be seen as somebody who is a mover and shaker within our communities. But right now, it seems like our movement is kind of restricted. But we must always remember that there is a hope here for this. And remember that Isis card was speaking of you being a leader, you being truthful, you commanding both the masculine and feminine energies. Don't rely just on one, because we have to be honest with ourselves. The emergence of the dragonfly is, it takes sometimes 2 years for the dragonfly to go from child to adult. So what are you putting in that you feel like isn't coming in as quick as you'd want it to? As they say, Rome wasn't built in a day. Things take time, and anything worth having takes a little struggle. It takes a little determination. It takes you balls to the wall. It takes you being the person who is refusing to give up on a dream. Not because it gets a little hard, not because you were faced with some hostilities. It's time to turn your back at those things. You're not safe behind this gate. Yes, you may have all that you need, or you are comfortable being in your own home, away from everything and everyone, and you don't even want to reach out socially. But you're not safe there because what you're doing is stagnating yourself, and this card is urging you to move away from that gate. Just like in the other cards that we had was the walking away card. To come away from the things that aren't serving us, because it's a time of emergence. There goes a lotus again who sinks down to the bottom of the pond and rises spotless out of the drudgery, out of the things that most people wouldn't even want to touch. But that is the essence of the lotus, is the beauty that has come from the strife, the beauty that has come from the not so pleasant things. And it's time to release all these hostilities, whether towards yourself or towards other people. Time to move into a new direction, because this is cleansed negativity, coming into personal power, transformation. Get in touch with your feelings and metamorphism. So, and this is dealing with your emotions and water, rain. Allow the rain to purify you, to wash you clean. Have crystal clear vision. Just like the last card was speaking, was to focus. Be careful of what your thoughts are bringing into life. Because right here we have the spider card. Infinite possibilities of creation. But the spider also represents, even though it's an infinite possibility of creation, that doesn't mean that it can always be great creations, because you have a big part of it. What you think about, you bring about, as above, so below. So if you're not trusting the higher mind, what you're bringing into your life is things that you're not going to want. You're going to bring in fear. You're going to bring in worry. You're going to bring in stagnation. Whatever efforts that you're making, you're stagnating it by the way that you're thinking about these efforts. Oh, that wasn't good enough. Oh, I should have tried harder. Oh, maybe I'll do it tomorrow. Or they won't like it. Whatever ways that you're talking to yourself, you've got to remember this opposition card is telling us that right now is going to be a time of opposition. It's not going to be an easy battle right now for any of us. And maybe somebody can put on a good front because they have the material means to, but what are they dealing with emotionally? You can't look at another person's life and judge your life, because now it's time for strength, but with gentleness. It's time to get creative and time to weave our own faith. Find the balance of the past and the future. You can't look at your past. That now is not a time that you're going to be able to sit on your laurels. You're not going to be able to say, well, once upon a time, I did this and this and that. That's not going to work. This is a new time. This is a new shift. Like, we're going into a new era. So you can't sit on your laurels anymore. What are you doing day to day to get you to where you want to be? No one else can get you there. Somebody can encourage you. Somebody can allow you to find the strength in yourself, see the strength in yourself. But if you really don't cleanse this negativity, it's like their pleas and their cries and their encouragement is going to be falling on deaf ears. And then it says, be bold and make the first move. Adjustments are required because you're feeling trapped. But there's a new romantic cycle that's willing to begin, a door to romance, where your heart can be released. Like, this to me is not necessarily about love, but if that's what you see and that's what's happening in your life, then kudos. That's wonderful. I don't see this as a love card right now. What I see this as is you're trapped. You feel like your wings are clipped, but the only thing that needs to be freed is your heart. You need to stop caging your heart up. You need to stop blocking your heart chakra. You need to allow the love of the universe and collective to flow to you as you flow to it. And then you can be freed. You can soar. Be honest with yourself. What are you saying to yourself? What are you doing on a daily basis that's stagnating your life? What is the opposition card here for the collective? Guidepost reading. Why is the opposition card here? Don't want to put that in. Ten of Air. Because you're feeling backstabbed and betrayed. Maybe you feel like the promises of what life had to offer was never truly fulfilled. Like, you make one step forward, you have to take 10 back. You go a little further, you get knocked back down. That is the struggle of life. That is the struggle of saying, do you really want what you want? Are you so easily to just give up and give in and sit here in this mode of woe is me? Because it's waiting on you to stand your ground and to trust the higher mind, trust the higher self. It's waiting so that this can be an end. Even though there will always be opposition to the beautiful, wonderful things that we want in the world, it's not to say we can't have them. Why is the sixth chakra in reverse for the collective? Why is the sixth chakra in reverse for the collective? Two of Fire. We haven't picked a path. We're waffling back and forth, even though we're at the crossroads again and at the bottom. So our passions, we haven't really decided truly what we're going toward. Being unable or unwilling to make a decision. We're stuck at a path and saying that we want what we want, but really and truly, we're not in union. Why is the Scepter card here? Why is the Scepter card here? We're wanting our stability. We're wanting to be seen as a pillar in our communities. But again, it's hanging in the balance because the lack of movement on our part. And some of us will say, but I am doing this and I am doing that. But are your thoughts and your emotions negating the efforts that you are making? Because you can have all the action in the world, but if you are not in union with your path and you put out the effort physically, but inwardly you're in turmoil, inwardly you're digging up those seeds to see if they're sprouting, then you're stagnated. There's a lot of hope and healing that is here for us. There's happy times. Make positive and optimistic long-term plans. You're on the right path, but you just have to make sure that you're in unison. Why is the dragonfly here? Four of Earth. Yeah, don't hold on to the past self because the dragonfly goes through a metamorphosis. It changes. So let that false self go. Go through the necessary change. Walk through that gate. It's not safe for you anymore to sit behind that gate and think shoulda, coulda, woulda. Action is needed now. You know, this is not saying that you can't have physical things and be on your spiritual path. They're one and the same. The world, yeah, allow a new cycle to come into your life. You know, this is contentment. This is gratitude. And we have to have gratitude. That's what I was talking about, the inner world and the outer world. They have to be one and the same. You have to be able to be moving towards your goals and being grateful for all the lessons, the hard ones, the easy ones, the sweet ones, the bitter ones. Hostilities. Why is hostilities here? Do the necessary work. You're going to see things starting to unfold. Why is hostilities here with the Eight of Earth? The Wheel. Again, do the work. It's time for positive change. A situation suddenly moves forward. If there is no enemy within, there can be no enemy without. So as long as you can release these hostilities and allow your life to unfold without you trying to force it forward, then it'll be a happier time. This will be open your heart and mind to others around, to those around you, trustworthy and heartfelt advice. Okay. Why is the Frog here? Oh no. Why is the Release card here? Why is the Release card here? Oh, look. Seven of Air again in reverse. So it's time to release these plans that need revision, more going on that meets the eyes, poor timing. It's time to release those things. If you're feeling hostile because something has fallen apart for you, remember that sometimes we go through things in hindsight, that is the best thing that could have happened to us. We don't know why Spirit is redirecting your lives or our lives in certain ways. We just know that we don't like it because we can't perceive the benefit of it in the moment. But when we look back, we realize that, wow, that was great. Like, I actually needed that to happen for whatever reason, A through Z. Like, whatever reason you needed it to happen, it turns out to be the betterment. But you can't see it while you're going through the experience. You only get to see that hindsight. Why is the Frog here? Why is the Frog here? Six of Fire, but it's fell out sideways, so this means to me that it's hanging in the balance. So yeah, we have to go through the transformation if we're wanting this recognition and to sit on our throne properly. We have to allow ourselves to change. Yeah. See, we have to give ourselves the fair and just ways. And you've got to do what we know is right. We got to stand up for our own beliefs. Like, we can't waver on the things that we know is right for us and for our path. Why is the Thinking Man here? Yeah. Again, thinking about the new beginning, thinking about the creativity, thinking about wanting to get things off the ground. You know, wanting that abundant new start. Why is this Spider here? Okay. Two of Air again. Unwilling or unable to make a decision. We're so caught up in materialism and making sure that we have the finest and the best that we're unable, we're waffling, we're not able to pick a path and stick to it. You know, we're jumping here and jumping there. Could this make me some money? Could that make me some money? Could this make me some money? We forget that we are the weavers of our own faith. We bring what we truly want into our lives. And though it may not be an easy task, we're still the ones who shape the world that we want to see. But if all of us are living in fear and living in worry, then that's what we get more of. Why is the Action card here in reverse for the collective? Why is the Action card here in reverse for the collective? Eight of Fire. So there's messages coming to us telling us that we don't need to do anything right now, that we need to stay put, but we got to find the strength to know that even if we can't physically move, the inner world is so important in creativity. Everything starts in the mind, and the heart is what allows us to push forward with greater energies, is because the heart is the driver of the body. It's the engine, so it gives us the momentum by our desires for whatever it is that we want. Why is Trapped here? For the collective. Why is Trapped here for the collective? Okay. Yeah. That's self-love, right? And I was just speaking to, you got to open up your heart. So you're having competing and bothersome goals, conflict with others, but to me this is you having such conflict with yourself, because this is my self-love card. This is not you meeting someone and the sparks fly. That would be the Two of Cups for me when how I read. And look at the bottom of the deck, the Ace of Fire. So this is your passion. These are your emotions. Exactly what I was speaking to. Your passion and your emotions. You got to stop being in conflict with these things. You have to get both of them in alignment. Stay out of the material world. The material things come to those who are pursuing their passion, who has put their heart into their passion and put their emotions there. Why are adjustments required? Yeah. Adjustments are required because you can't find your happy place. You can't find your wish fulfillment. But again, the release card, the death card, it's time to put an end of a phase or a situation, spiritual transformation, time to move on. Why is a new romantic cycle begins here for the collective? Why is a new romantic cycle begins here for the collective? Renewal. Yeah. It's time to make that judgment call so you can get the second chance or the third or the fifth or the eighth or the 250th chance. You know, when we're going towards our goals, it's strived with a lot of failure, but it's not really failures. It's building your tenacity. It's riddled with a lot of uphill battles. Success doesn't come easy. You know, we get so accustomed to seeing things on social media and TV that make you think that, oh, success just happens overnight. But you don't really know these people's story. Again, moving away to calmer waters, internal waters, allow them to be sweet and calm. Find the celebration in life. Why is there a door to romance here for the collective? Why is the door to romance here? Okay. Ten of Water, but it's hanging in the balance. Why is the Ten of Water hanging in the balance to the door to romance? Why is the Ten of Water? Okay. Yeah. Because when we decide that, you know, we've had enough, you know, a successful time, confidently accept opportunities you're offered, having the Midas touch, when we can realize that, you know, we are the emperors and the empresses of our own life. You know, we have to be like Isis, directing both our feminine and our masculine energies, but we're going to have to do the healing. Make choices that benefit our life. Falling in love, a wedding proposal, need to balance emotion. Exactly. We need to balance our emotions. Challenging information, delays to change of plans, truth delivered without tact. About something equal give and take, about some money that we want, but what we have to do is that we have to stop putting our focus solely on the pinnacle. There's a lot of spiritual changes that needs to happen within us in order to get us to where we want. Yeah, look, she's reversed in my deck, the Queen of Fire. And this is stretch your wings, don't underestimate yourself, assert your independence and creativity, but she's reversed because there's unwisest choices. Learn what you can from a situation, review everyone's motives. You know, what are you juggling? What is the other thing that you need to put down? It's time for us to really and truly be honest with ourselves. Now I'll read the last of the inside degrees. A heated argument turns into laughter. Aquarius 12th degree. It says tension and release, contraction and expansion, the breath of the mind resolving its duality. In order to make it possible for radical truths and significant realizations to come through, you must first karmically dramatize inside the ego mind and outside as well, the unbearable tension between opposing points of views. You enter upon disputes, advocate positions, set up heroes and villains, and then when your whole inner and outer world is packed with dilemmas and problems, arguments, and battles, you become ready to seek out synthesis, to enter upon a cycle of restoring wholeness. During your experimental years, spice means everything. But during your maturity, there is no further mileage to be had in turning anything against anything else. Getting it that you made it all up in the first place and that the rational mind delights in controversy but has its limit. When resolution comes, everything looks different. All of life turns around, and most practically, your relation to yourself changes from critic into a friend and respectful ally of your own inward intention. I mean, I don't know how clearer that could be. Wow. Leo, 12 degrees. The mouth of the Amazon River. It says, rarely can you get to the central place and stay there. But if destiny is fast and free, you do abide in the heart of creation and you never leave this spot. A host of virtues and gifts are showered upon you as you hold this post of supreme impersonal personal self-command. The most astounding of these qualities is a faith and confidence in the powers that be, which can move any mountain. And accompanying this trait is an unwillingness which hosts of or orchestrates a threshold awareness. And accompanying this trait is an unworldliness which hosts or orchestrates a threshold awareness, an open door between worlds. You entirely live for the cosmic, the universal, the inner source spring. And what you perceive along this path is how everything goes out from here over all the world, but everything returns here, so that the highest and the truest can once again be sparkled into this shared stream and known to be pulsatingly live, self-renewing, in most rapturous gestures of moving with whatever is asked. Now we're just going to read the last two for the Leo 26, so that would be the new moon one. Number 27, a beaded curtain. A double identity, outwardly conventional, appropriate, legitimate, and orthodox, inwardly alien, cosmic, involved with other realities, and boldly exploring the infinite. You feel compelled by inner necessity to maintain both worlds and to serve the outer by bolstering goodwill everywhere. Yet this is achieved with a fraction of your awareness and sensibility. Meanwhile, the depths and heights, the heights and the many worlds beyond are there, are attended to, are thoroughly made your own. You are the iceberg person with a wonderful tip showing and a fabulous wealth of goodies inside to partake in endlessly. All right, so lastly, Black-Hearted Oracle cards. What is it that the collective needs to know? What is it that the collective, oh Lord, okay. What is it that the collective needs to know? And at the bottom of the cards is Spirit Loves the Willing. It says, are you happy? Truly happy? Fear and doubt will bench you. Landless peasants. The cards are stacked against you. Shut your mouth and open your eyes. Life is about to metaphorically kick you in the face. And it says, what, you forgot how to dream? So what these cards are saying is, you know, when I say this card says the landless peasants, what this is talking about is that internal garden that we don't cultivate. You understand? So you are rich with inside, but inside you feel like a landless peasant. You don't know that you have your own plot of ground that you can plant your seeds in that can allow them to come to fruition, because your fear and your doubt is benching you. And because you don't, are you truly happy? Are you truly seeking the things that are truly going to make you happy in the present moment? Not when you achieve your goal, not when you get that position, not when you get that promotion, not when you buy that car, not when you own that house. Now, today, in the living present, are you truly happy? We don't know if we get tomorrow. So why postpone our happiness for things? Because we're feeling like the cards are stacked against us. But what really needs to happen is we need to shut our mouth and open our eyes. Because if we don't, life is about to metaphorically kick us in the face. Because we're giving up all the options that we have to us because we don't feel like we have any. Because we forgot how to dream. We're allowing the outside noise to get to us so harshly. That we're feeling deprived, we're feeling depressed, we're feeling emptied. Spirit loves the willing. And it's a 10, so it's time for a change. All right, you guys, I thank you so much for coming to the Black-Hearted Oracle. I pray these messages found you well. I hope that you find your higher self in the quiet places, and may Ma'at hold you in her loving grace. Ashe.